Good morning, y'all. Pete here with Green Dreams, and thanks for tuning in again on this beautiful morning. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share these videos and help me get the word out about what we're doing here. So this plant I have sitting next to me is a very exciting plant in an edible landscape. You have to remember, we're an ecological landscaping company, so we're always looking for plants, multifunction, aesthetic appeal, edibility, medicinal uses. Anytime we can find plants that have those, properties, that's what we're looking for. So, commonly speaking, you'll see these alocasias, these elephant ears in the landscape, and they're cool looking, but they're not edible, they're not useful. We grow Malanga and Taro here in Florida that look very similar, and you want to make sure you know what root you're planting, before you actually harvest or try to use these plants. But this is Taro, so this is more of a wetland type plant. Malanga grows a little bit higher up in the mountains commonly, doesn't need as much wet feet. We're growing this in multiple spots here on the farm, and it has just come back up. So that might be like the only negative aspect I could say to the plant is it does go to sleep in the wintertime. It goes dormant and then comes back up. We just did a 3-acre agroforestry install, and we used about 150 of these plants. So I got completely wiped out on tubers. We're all out right now. I'll probably have some more back in stock here the next month and a half or so, and we'll have those tubers available through our website. So, this can be used like a starch. This can be made into a bread per se. I would suggest looking up the recipes on actually how to harvest these tubers if you want to try making Malanga or Taro. Some of our local restaurants make these into chips, use them as a starch in some of their, meals and stuff and products on the menu. So it makes a beautiful looking plant in the landscape. You typically want to harvest that root after the plant's been in the ground for about a year. So this is very young. This plant's maybe been up out of the ground for a month. It's very small still. This leaf will get to almost this size. So it makes this gorgeous looking, elephant ear in the landscape. Really does well in that dappled light situation. Beautiful looking plant, to have up and around the house. Really makes that tropical effect. So very easy to grow. These plants thrive on neglect. I plant the tubers and I walk away. We have no irrigation on any of these on the farm. Even though it's Taro and it's something that typically likes that wet feet, it's doing really well in a dry situation. Right now in Florida, we haven't had any real rain for a couple of months. We're in the middle of a very bad drought. It's doing well here for us. They're all coming back just fine. I actually haven't even harvested or eaten this one myself yet. Just growing it for the aesthetic appeal. So I'm not an expert on any of this stuff. I've pointed this out in many of my other videos. There's lots of other experts out there, and I would suggest if you want to harvest the Taro, do some research, before you just listen to me and go and grow it and try to eat it. Like I said, make sure you're actually growing Taro or Malanga. If you eat the wrong one, I'm pretty sure you're going to have a bad episode. I hear it's like fiberglass in your mouth if you're eating that alocasia, the wrong elephant ear. So this makes a beautiful plant in the landscape. We use these all the time. Gorgeous looking. Taro, Malanga. It's another excellent root crop here in the subtropics if you all want to try it. Something else I also want to plan out, so when we moved in here to Sand Hill Farm 4 years ago, the prior homeowner already had some elephant ears planted on the farm. These look very, very similar. There's only a slight difference in the leaf cut from the Malanga and the Taro. I find that Taro stops before the stem, the Malanga cuts all the way down. It's very hard to tell the difference between this and the elephant ear. So be sure when you're planting these in your landscape, plant them far enough away from that existing elephant ear if you already have them. Just don't get them confused. Very simple way, keep them far away from each other and you won't get them confused in the landscape.